Let's take a look at the Tucker clip.
Been saying for months that our southern border is out of control, that it's completely open, just in case you think we've been over.
That's interesting. He's been saying it for months, but not years. I wonder about that.
Overstating that. Here's this. More than 13,000 Haitians have now crossed into Del Rio, Texas. Our own Bill Malugin has been on this story like nobody else. He was there on Saturday. Here's part of what he saw.
What you're looking at right now is the U.S. side of the Rio Grande. That is a mass of several hundred illegal immigrants who have just crossed the Rio Grande. And look at this, several hundred more streaming across as we speak. We're on a boat in the Rio Grande. This is the Mexican side of the river right now. You can see it's a never-ending stream. Hundreds of people crossing the Rio Grande basically every hour. And they're heading over to the International Bridge, which you can see in the background. Look at that mass of people. This is why the situation under the bridge continues to deteriorate. This is insane. The federal government has to wake up.
So a lot of questions here. Where do these Haitians come from? How'd they get here? How'd they afford it?
They come from Haiti, right? Right?
But most pressing of all for Americans is, where are all these Haitians going? U.S. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz just told Malugin that of the 12,000 migrants under the bridge in Del Rio, only adult men will be deported. Yeah, right. The rest will be processed and released into what you thought was your country, but turns out isn't. Today, Fox News' Peter Doocy asked the White House what our border czar thinks about all of this.
Where's the vice president on any of this? Isn't she supposed to be addressing the root causes of migration?
Absolutely, and she has been addressing the root causes of migration by working with countries in the region to ensure they have the assistance they need to reduce the number of people who are coming and trying to make those journeys across the border. We've actually seen some reductions in some of those numbers. That doesn't change the fact that this is a very challenging situation in Del Rio. We're working to implement our policies, and we're working to ensure we are also addressing root causes.
So why does our guy have to wear the obedience mask and that woman doesn't? So many questions. Someone who can answer a lot of those questions is Lara Logan, host of the Lara Logan Has No Agenda
Wow,
show.
this is like everything combined. We know why Jen Psaki's not wearing a mask and everybody else is. You know, it doesn't take that much more than common sense to understand that. Lara Logan has now become sort of a darling of the right after she like called out, was it ABC, CBS that she called out? This is really hitting like every single one of the highlights.
On Fox Nation, which is excellent. She joins us tonight. Laura, thanks so much.
Oh, she has a show on Fox Nation now. That's wild.
For coming on. So how these people get here? Where are they going? Do you know?
Well, you know, what's interesting about these people, Tucker, is that based on what they're telling Border Patrol agents when they're interviewed, many of them, in fact, if not most of them, have come from Chile and Brazil and countries like that. They're not actually coming from Haiti because they've been living in Latin American countries ever since the earthquake. So that's years now. And what they...
Chile.
Are saying is that the border is wide open. Everybody knows it's wide open. The message is loud and clear. They've seen people crossing there for months. The Biden administration doesn't do anything, and this is their chance. So they said their lives are pretty good. I've seen many of them in the...
It doesn't really pass the sniff test that people came from Chile and Mexico. Actually, this is the super chat here. This is the point from Jessica. It's pretty bizarre that so many immigrants just happen to travel the long way through Mexico and arrive at the exact same time. It is a little bit strange to be telling the story and saying these are people who have been in Chile.
The airports here as they're cycled through and distributed all over this country. And they're well dressed and, you know, very lovely people from what I can tell, you know, well behaved, great families. But what they don't look like is desperate. They don't look like, for example, Christians fleeing persecution from Nigeria who are actually in the midst of a genocide, who cannot even get asylum in this country, but the asylum laws are actually written for them. And what you're seeing happen here is, you know, those thousands of people under the bridge, Tucker, you know what the agents tell me? They've got like 24 porta-johns for those people. Several hundred of them, like around 300, escaped on Sunday morning. They just ran away. The conditions are miserable. They don't have enough food. They don't have any real facilities or security. It is an absolute unmitigated disaster. And
what is it that is so weird about these segments? Is it the hypocrisy relative to when Donald Trump was in office? Is it the sort of like mischaracterization of what migrants are even doing or trying to do? Is it just the expression on Tucker's face? Like, is it all of these things? I'm not even really sure. Like, what is it that makes this so vile?
What you're seeing happen here is all those people in the Biden administration that came from the Open Society Foundation that we're not allowed to talk about because that'll be the end of us, right?
Is there argument that these people shouldn't be here at all, or that they should be treated better by the Biden Border Patrol? Like, what does anybody know? What is the argument, actually? Is it both?
They'll come for all of us. Well, you know what? Those people, those advisors, they don't want a border. What does open society mean? It means no borders, which means no America, right? No countries. That's why.
Didn't she used to have an Australian accent? Does it that's another element to this. What happened to Lara Logan's Australian accent? Am I misremembering that?
Patriotism and the flag and all of those things.
There's like a slight hint of it, I guess.
Are so evil today, right? They're automatically white supremacy and nationalism. Never mind that you can be, an African country and be proud of your flag and your borders, or you can come from Kosovo or wherever. So what you're seeing is part of a much...
Oh, is she South African or Australian? I guess I don't remember.
Bigger political picture. It's not just about the border. And it's the same strategy as Afghanistan. Ignore, 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 pretend it's not there and not happening. And the biggest thing here, Tucker, is that people keep using words like failure.
She's South African.
They say, oh, they failed to act. No, they chose not to act. They chose not to act because they have the outcome that they want.
That is such a good point, and bless you for making it. Laura, look.
That's his regular line now, right? That is such a good point, and thank you for making it. What a bizarre segment, quite frankly.